खाली क्वेरीज है ना। मैं कह रहा था कि
मैंने फोन कहा
सर दोनों छोड़
नहीं, सो एक काम, ये मैं हटा सकता हूँ, इसको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। देखो अभी जैसे अभी इतना ही दिखेगा।
कौन सा
ये हाँ हमारे साथ।
अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, नहीं वो तो हटा सकते हो, लेकिन जैसे ये करोगे ना वहाँ पे आज दिखेगा। तो मैं कह रहा था एक लैपटॉप तो खाली विजन इस व्यू के लिए छोड़ दो।
ये देखो,
नहीं ये तो मैं समझ गया।
हाँ
लेकिन जब अगर आपको चेक करना होगा कुछ करना होगा तो वहाँ सब चलेगा।
हाँ वो है।
तो उसके व्यू के लिए आप वहाँ देख सकते हो दूसरे लैपटॉप में।
अच्छा, ये तो जो कनेक्ट सर बैकग्राउंड यूज कर रहे हैं वो दीजिए।
और नहीं तो आईसी का दीजिए, आईसी का दूसरा नहीं वो कॉमन ही कर देते हैं ठीक है।
नहीं
उसमें आईसी लिखा है ना।
हाँ उसमें आईसी,
तो ठीक है वही दे दो।
देखिए वो कनेक्ट करने में आईसी लिखा है उसमें, हाँ वही उनका वही यूज कर रहे हैं। दोनों दीजिए। सर को बोलिए कि मैं उनको मेल करता हूँ। ठीक है, दीजिए। मैंने ना वो नीचे कन्वीनिंग पार्टनर पावर टेक है अभी, ठीक है। कौन सा वाला? मैंने जो स्लाइड थी ना उसी को ही मैंने इमेज में कन्वर्ट करके ये किया था। कहाँ किसको दिया? नहीं दिया नहीं किसी को। तो मैंने ये जो प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे थे ना हम लोग, इसमें जैसे कन्वीनिंग पार्टनर पावर नहीं, ये वाला ये वाला। हाँ हाँ उसको दिखाइए ना, उसको प्रोजेक्ट करिए। ये देखो, तो इसमें बता नहीं बताइए ना जो इन्होंने डिजाइन भेजी थी। अरे ये सब नहीं करना, जो इन्होंने डिजाइन भेजी थी बट वो भी पीडीएफ में, वो भी पीएनजी फॉर्मेट में। प्रॉब्लम वो है, उसको ओपन नहीं कर सकते ना। ओपन कर सकता हूँ मैं बट वो पीडीएफ फॉर्मेट में, जेपीईजी में, जेपीईजी में तुरंत इसको एडिट कर सकते हैं ना। इसको एडिट करते हैं ना 2 मिनट में। हाँ कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है तो फिर ये पुराना भी है। कौन देते हैं इसको? है वो नहीं बोल रहा है। लिंक तो सेम ही है ना, वो तो सेम ही है ना, लिंक द सेम लिंक। अच्छा हाँ अभी जस्ट इनके अडेगा इन कैसा कर हो जाए तो अच्छा लिंक सेम है ना, फाइनली ज्वाइन हो रहा है ना कनेक्ट सर वही लिंक सेम है। ये टाइम देखिए सर, कैन यू हियर मी? हेलो विवेक सर। फोन में बात कर लीजिए, बच्चे बैठे बात या इधर भी इसको चारों हो गए नहीं, दो नहीं, दो पहले के। सर कैन यू हियर मी इससे? ओके ठीक। हेलो
Now I can hear you.
ओके परफेक्ट, ठीक है ठीक है।
And can you hear me?
यस यस, लाउड एंड क्लियर।
Perfect. Awesome.
new initiatives. We are lucky to have the right people on in our gatherings, sir. Now I'd like to invite Bera Saab to come on the stage, please. Sure. May I request Nikun sir to come on stage, please? May I request Trilochan Panda sir to come on stage, please? I think Panda sir has not been able to make it today, what looks to me. Shen Begum sir, I'll request you to please come on stage, please. And the last is Anil Chaudhary, Head of Operations for ESL, to come on stage, please. To welcome the guests on dais, I'll request first Mr. Anil Sahu to present a token of bouquet to Bera sir so that we can invite him formally as well. Now I'll invite Mr. Girja Shankar to welcome Mr. Nikul sir. I'll invite Anil Sahu. I'm sorry, I think Panda Sahib is not there. I'll invite Nitin Bhatt to welcome Shen Begum sir. I'll invite Mr. Vibhu to welcome Mr. Anil Chaudhary. Thank you. So there are two more guests who could not be physically present here. My business unit head, Mr. S.P. Garnayak, he is available to us online. He has joined through a Zoom call. His health is not permitting him to be physically present, but he has taken time out to be present through e-mode. And the other gentleman, Mr. Vivek Adhia, he's the country director for ISC. He's also joining us through e-mode. Actually, he was part of COP26 meeting and he just returned, and he took a specific precaution not to be publicly, available to us, but yet he is there very much with us through online mode. Thank you, Garnayak sir, and thank you, Vivek sir. To start the proceeding for the day, I think we are sitting in the land of Jai Jagannath Bhagwanji. So the very first thing is that we should lit a lamp which brings more prosperity and more happiness to the society at a large. May I request all the dignitaries on the dais to lit the lamp, please. Thank you all. I think this is the right time for us to start the proceeding. And to set the context and introduce about the program, I'll invite Mr. Anil Chaudhary to give his introductory remarks to the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abhishek. And very good morning to one and all. And first of all, it's a very welcome moment actually. It's a welcome introduction, and this is a welcome moment also. It's a welcome moment just because. So in this moment, I would like to again say the dignity in the dais. Good morning to one and all, and all the dais and the people who have the Gandhi and Ajay ji who has joined in the virtual mode, and I would like to say that those people have worked in the background also. So, and this was the one of the awaited days in which we were thinking of launching DSM and launching DSM not only inside India, nationwide. So, and the day has come that we are launching it here in Odisha, and as everybody must be recalling also that Odisha has been pioneer in the power reforms all the time, right from the power APDRP time. It has been pioneer. It has been already doing various kinds of innovations in regulatory, in regulations also, in the reforms also. So, and it's no strange that we are starting it here first. Starting is being done here only. So, as Abhishek has already told, it's the land of Jagannath. So we have already started with the Jai Jagannath movement. So, and this what we are our just from a while now, our ED will set the context. I would like to say one thing that what we are doing today, we are conscious about energy. That is why we are here. We need energy. We need to produce energy. So there are various ways of producing energy. So renewable energy, non-renewable, and this conservation and efficiency is also a way of production of energy only. So and this is a very cost effective. You don't need any capacity addition, but this needs a mass movement. This needs a mass movement. That is why
So involvement of people is required, involvement of all stakeholders are required, and that's what this program is aimed at. And this is just the beginning of the program, but it should roll out to all the corners and the last mile people in state of Odisha, and then nationwide pan India. So, so with these words, I would like that the various kinds of eminent speakers are there, so they can set the context, and we can start. Set the ball rolling. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Chaudhary sir. Now I'll request Mr. SP Garnaik. He's the business unit head for lighting business for ESL. He's one of those guys who have always charted new territories for bringing out new initiatives, right from his Bureau of Energy Efficiency days to now ESL. He's one of those guys who have helped us actually to bridge the gap between what is actually which society is asking for and what is that which ESL is able to provide. And he's one of those guys who has initiated this idea to utilize the provisions available under DSM regulation of Odisha, which came in 2011 itself. And he said, why don't we start with his own mother state, which is Odisha itself. So I'm privileged to call him on stage online. Ladies and gentlemen, may I like to request you to have a good round of applause to welcome him. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek ji. Honorable OERC Chairman, Behra Saab, Principal Secretary, Energy Government of Odisha, Dhal Saab, Mr. Panda, who is expected to join in a while, Managing Director from Gridco, Mr. Sanbagam, CEO, TPCODL, my colleagues and senior officials from ESL and other dignitaries who have joined this event today from various organizations, and my friend Vivek Adhia, Director, Institute of Sustainable Community, who is joining this event virtually from Mumbai. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure and honorable moment for me. Let me first apologize for not being able to attend this meeting in person due to my bad health, and I was advised by doctor to avoid the traveling. But nevertheless, the context and the importance of this program is very loud and clear. And I think everybody understands the importance of energy efficiency, the demand side management in this today's context. If we go back to past 2 decades, 3 decades even, the supply side management has been the dominant factor in our energy demand and supply scenario. And this is going to dominate even for the next 10, 15 or 20 years. We have seen when we are growing in the economy, maybe 5%, 6% as far as GDP is concerned, the energy plays a very vital role, and it puts a lot of pressure on the complete country planners and to the country exchequer as well, how to meet this demand and cope up with the pace of the developments. We have seen that with the primary energy, the coal, oil, or gas, which is depleting fast. And when we are depending upon very heavily on the outside countries for the crude oil, so this makes a sense how we are going to cope up with the scenario. Friends, let me just give you one example. If you want 1 megawatt of additional demand, additional power, and from the supply side, probably we'll be needing 6 to 7 crores of rupees. In addition to that, there are challenges from water, land, environment clearance, and so on and so forth. But there is another option. If I get that 1 megawatt power from the demand side, by harnessing it in such a way that by arresting the wastages, or maybe adoption of energy efficient technologies or practices, probably it would be much, much cheaper. I think we have seen that it is almost 1/3 of the price of what we would be getting from the supply side. So this gave a for us how to see most optimized way, effective way of bringing the demand side management things into the picture. And that is why the energy efficiency, which is one of the vital tools in the demand side management, is the fourth fuel of the country after coal, oil, and gas, because both give the options. Both sides give the options to meet our energy demand. Friends, after the Energy Conservation Act enacted in 2002, and a lot of initiatives taken by Bureau of Energy Efficiency and state designated agencies, only one program which I can mention it here has got a maximum importance or created in the society is the appliance program. That is the standard and labeling program. The star rating program, which star rating products, which we are seeing it in the market. And this has become a household thing right now. I mean, in this program that we give a informed choice to the consumers to go for the most energy efficient appliances depending upon his purchase power. And if I'm not wrong, more than 10,000 megawatt of capacity has been avoided by this program. And if we see our programs, ESL's programs like Ujala, that is the domestic efficient lighting program, where we have distributed more than 36 crores of bulbs, 9-watt bulbs to the household consumers. It has created a massive market transformation in many ways. Even in Odisha, more than 5 crore bulbs have been distributed since last 2 years. And if I again give you another example, the street lighting national program, 3.5 lakhs numbers of street lights have been replaced with the LED lights in the state of Odisha, and overall in India it is 1.2 crore. It is a massive initiative taken, and my calculation says that about 80 to 100 crores rupees is being saved by this by the utilities, by the ULBs, the urban local bodies, by this particular program. So the more important is that new technologies, but the adoption of the new technology is possible when there is affordable costing, the pricing. The technology may definitely it will come with an additional cost, but it is not, if it is not affordable to the consumer, probably it has no meaning, even if the payback period is somewhere 1.5, 2 years, or even 3 years. So upfront investment or cost is a very, very important factor. We have another program that is called National Motor Replacement Program for industrial consumers. Sir, we have seen that how this has been beneficial to the consumers, the industrial consumers, where we have replaced more than 10,000 number of motors so far. Actually, it gives the option to replace the substandard motors with the IE3 class of motors, which give a additional benefit to the consumer of 10 to 15% energy. And there is a policy angle also. There was a quality order from the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which says that the minimum class, I mean, the minimum efficiency class or the motor efficiency should be of IE2. So in this case, ESL tried to bring that cost factor into the picture in a more innovative way. So we didn't do any kind of rocket science behind it. It is simple, the economy of scale. So we aggregated the demand in a proper way, by engaging with the state governments, engaging with the industries directly, and because of that bulk procurement approach, the cost of the product is, has been reduced substantially. For example, if you just see the bulb price, 300 rupees in 2016, now almost 50 to 60 rupees in 2019 and 20, without compromising the quality or the warranty period of these products. So now what we are doing from the ESL channel, we are targeting to the consumers. But now we thought, why these discoms, the utilities cannot be a proper channel to us. And as we see in the COP26 meeting, which just concluded in Glasgow, there are 4 items: air conditioners, refrigerators, industrial motors, and television, the household used televisions. These were taken under the super efficient appliance deployment program. They call it SEED program. So these are massive impact on the peak demand, load profiling, by reducing the peak demand in the load profile structure. And more importantly, it will reduce the energy bill of the consumer, which is actually the win-win situation. So we thought the discoms, which is actually getting a challenge in managing their load profiling, particularly the peak demand, and which eventually affects their power purchasing cost. This demand side deployment of this energy efficient appliances in the demand side, particularly at the consumer, whether it is a commercial consumer, industrial consumer, or the domestic consumers, this will actually play a very important role. And a lot of studies have gone into the background, and we have seen that there is a opportunity of flattening the load curve, thereby helping this discoms in managing their load situations. Probably I must thank the OERC here, and they sensed this importance long way back, 10 years back, and came out with this DSM regulation in August 2011 through some public consultations. And this is very, very important. Unfortunately, I can say here that although some of the initiatives have been taken, but it has gone into that level the way it should have been. But it is a proud moment that to say it here that Odisha may be the first of the states in the country to come out with the DSM regulations, and many other states, I mean 10, 12 states, I was told they are either in the draft stage, going through the consultations, or come out with the mandated regulations so far. So let me just thank the Power Tech consultants who helped through Institute of Sustainable Community to develop a study, to do a study in the state of Odisha for this utility-based demand-side management program. And it is said that 4.5 lakhs of fans can be replaced with super efficient fans, which may consume 30 watts as compared to 80 or 100 watts. Similarly, 45,000 ACs, super efficient ACs, that can be replaced in the state. And these ACs are 20 to 25% more efficient than average 5-star product which is available in the market. And 14,000 more, i3 motors, the industrial motors, can also be changed, replaced. So this massive, opportunity brings a project cost of roughly about 400 crores. So now the problem is that there is a regulation. The utilities must have to do this. The consumers will be benefited, and there is a macro impact in the country as well as in the society, in the state. But the cost becomes most important factor here. And can we say that the DISCOM should come forward to intervene in this, even if they see the multiple benefits here? That is why ESL came forward, because of our past experiences, the credentials, the learning what we have. And we thought that DSM, this implementation of this program, the utilities could be a best possible channel where ESL can bring this project cost as an investment as it will require to the states. So it will take care of the procurements, it will take care of the project managements, and it will take care of the consumer services altogether. At the same time, the utilities will also be benefited. So it is a complete win-win situation. So there is no financial implications to the utilities, but there would be, they will act as a channel partner to us. Ladies and gentlemen, most importantly in this program, the awareness creation would be most important factor here. How the consumers will know that such type of schemes and programs are available in the state. So we need to think about that, and there must be a comprehensive approach to create a market outreach program to convey the message to the consumers. The second one, probably Principal Secretary Saab and OERC Chairman may be more interested to know how we are going to ensure the customer satisfaction, because that is very, very important. Programs are fine, but unless otherwise it is not taken in a holistical manner, probably we may be ending nowhere. There may be customer dissatisfaction, complaints will be mounting up, and the post delivery services would be questionable. So that is where my request to my own team as well as the utilities are there. We must have to think in a better way, because it is a pilot program. There must be some challenges coming in the near future, and as a partners, we must have to think that how we can actually plug these kind of challenges. Sir, I will end up by saying the last point here is the most important thing is the financing. So So as I said, we'll be going through the bulk procurement method, and we are expecting about 15 to 20% or even more price reduction through this approach, which would be made available to the, the benefit will be passed on to the consumer. But in a state like Odisha, where I again feel that there would be a challenge for the upfront payment model, which we have thought it initially. Through this forum, I may request Honorable Chairman to just think on the unbilled financing model, where the consumer can give through installments, and where the installments bill can be, the amount can be added to the electricity bill. Of course, it requires the approval processes as per the regulation or as per the electricity rule. Sir, the other point is that I'm thinking about how we can take this to the microfinancing institutions to be involved here. We are in discussion with some of the organizations, philanthropic organizations, who would be helping us, so that we can actually make these products available to the rural and semi-urban consumers in the state through this microfinancing channel. So these are some of the challenges, issues, opportunities, and what I can say, the future plans that I'm there. And my team will be, sir, explaining to the people how these program modalities are, how the consumer will participate in this program, how they will make the payments, how they will get the services, so on and so forth. I'm not going to detailing on that, but it's a very proud and opportune moment for us. I must thank all the dignitaries who have spared their time to attend this program. And I thought that it's a proud moment for me as well, because it is getting kick-started in my own state. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity and setting the context, and look forward to a very, very fruitful interaction in this event and a successful program in the state in the near future. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Very well explained the program objective and modalities as well. How can we take it forward? And we look forward to the guidance of Honorable OERC Chairman Sahab, Nikul Sahab, our partner DISCOMs, and definitely the media, which is going to play a very, very big and important role to make it popular and make it actually available on the ground. To specifically address the media issue, I'll request my friend Mr. Nitin Bhatt to come on stage and specifically mention about the role of media here for proper propagation of this program. Thank you.
धन्यवाद सर, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी साहब, ओईआरसी के चेयरमैन साहब, दिल्ली से जुड़े हमारे ईडी साहब, गणनायक साहब, हेड ऑपरेशन अनिल चौधरी साहब, और ईएसएल की जो टीम यहाँ पर मौजूद है, तमाम जो हमारे गेस्ट मौजूद हैं, और हमारे जो दोस्त मौजूद हैं मीडिया के, क्योंकि इससे पहले मैंने मीडिया में काफी लंबे समय तक काम किया। मैं बहुत ज्यादा समय ना बोलते, बहुत छोटी छोटी 2-3 बातें आप तक पहुंचाना चाहूंगा। मीडिया को लेकर हमने कई सारे प्रयोग किए, हमारी स्कीम्स को लेकर पूरे भारत में। हमने देखा कि जहां भी हम जिस भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में गए, हमने छोटे छोटे लॉन्च प्रोग्राम किए, जिसमें वहां की जो मशीनरी होती है, डिस्कॉम के जो तमाम ऑफिसर्स होते थे वो हमारे साथ होते थे, लोकल जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है उसको हम साथ में रखते थे, और ईएसए की टीम मिलकर छोटे छोटे लॉन्च आयोजित करती थी हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट वाइज। दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट बात ये थी कि हम लोग वैन की सहायता से, जो मोबाइल वैन होती है, उसमें हम लोग अपने छोटे छोटे रेडियो जिंगल्स चलाते थे, छोटी छोटी फिल्म्स चलाते थे, और हर गांव में जाकर बल्ब का, ट्यूबलाइट का और फैंस का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करते थे। और आपने देखा होगा कि यही कारण है कि काफी कम समय में ईएसएल ने 36 करोड़ से ज्यादा एलईडी बल्ब अक्रॉस इंडिया डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए हैं। जो हमारी फैन की स्कीम रही है, ट्यूबलाइट की स्कीम रही है, उसका भी जबरदस्त रिस्पॉन्स रहा है। आने वाले दिनों में इसी तरह के कई प्रयोग आप उड़ीसा में भी देखेंगे। हमारी टीम गांव-गांव जाएगी, पोस्ट ऑफिस के साथ भी हमने कोलैबोरेशन किया था, उसको भी हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे। डिस्कॉम के साथ तो हम लोग ये कर ही रहे हैं, साथ ही साथ जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर, तहसील लेवल पर जो हमारे जर्नलिस्ट हैं, हमारे अखबार हैं, उनके साथ भी हमें कोलैबोरेशन कर रहे हैं। उनके साथ भी लगातार हम संपर्क में हैं कि उनको समय समय पर स्कीम्स में क्या क्या परिवर्तन हो रहे हैं, क्या क्या नई स्कीम्स हम शुरू कर रहे हैं, किस तरह की प्राइसिंग हम लोग कम कर रहे हैं, तो कि आम जनता को कम से कम कीमत पर ये अप्लायंसेस प्राप्त हो सके, उसको लेकर भी हम काम कर रहे हैं। मेरी उम्मीद है मेरे को पूरा विश्वास है कि उड़ीसा का जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, हमारे जो पत्रकार बंधु हैं और डिस्कॉम के जो हमारे दोस्त हैं, वो सब उनको मदद करेंगे और इस योजना को उड़ीसा में कामयाब योजना बनाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Nitin ji. Now may I request Mr. Vivek Adia, he is the country director for ISC, to put his words on this particular program. Mr. Vivek Adia, please.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everybody. Respected Shri Behra, Chairman OERC, Shri Dhal, Principal Secretary, Department of Energy, Government of Odisha, senior delegates from Tata Power, ESL, and all of you. I'm so glad and very happy to be a part of this program virtually. I would have never missed this opportunity to be there in person, but somehow the quarantine kind of recommendations changed when I was landing back from COP26. I was out there for 12 days in Glasgow, along with some of the key experts working in the space of climate and energy, really looking at what we should all be doing together, working with governments, with businesses, with civil society and youth to try and see what we can do to make our world free from global warming, free from the detrimental impacts that we are seeing on climate change, and really owe it to our future generations, our children, to try and leave behind a better world. So I think, I would have been there, never missed a chance to, visit one of the most beautiful places in the country. But here I am, happy to be here virtually. What we saw at the COP, and I'll try and bring in some of that background and just highlight why what we are doing here today amongst all of us is so important to this larger global conversations on climate change. The COP began with a flurry of high-level announcements where we got so many major countries to commit to reduce emissions, to keep warming between 1.5 degree centigrade and try and reach that. And every country on this planet wanted to enhance its ambition. And the best part was the surprise that came in from India, where our country made a series of announcements, Panchamrit, as Prime Minister Modi calls it, where we had like 5 levers of important announcements that we'll do to contribute to this entire global action on climate. And 2 of these announcements are so important for everything that we are doing today here. The first big announcement is about how, as a country, we are able to save and reduce, avoid 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. And that's a huge number that our country has committed. We also looked at the second announcement, which was to raise our emission reductions intensity. Emissions intensity we wanted to reduce from the current 33 to 35% to a 45% reduction. And imagine if we have to reduce our emissions intensity by 45%, what is it that we really need to do, and how do we really engage on the impacts that really come in, whether it's in terms of fuel consumption, electricity, transport, buildings, industry, and so on. And this is where the important comes in, where we are looking at most of the harmful greenhouse gas emissions comes in from electricity and the energy sector, transport and buildings. And as you would have seen from those top line numbers that Gananji spoke about earlier, energy has a very close calling to climate action, and everything that we would be doing here to save on energy and help the country and eventually the world to achieve our ambitious goals, this is the place to be. This is the way we would be able to reduce the on-ground impacts, because there is a high amount of influence and impacts that might come in from energy efficiency that we are able to drive. And so for India to get to the 45% reduction, for India to reduce an absolute number of 1 billion tons, energy efficiency would play a major role. And when we look at this from a high level country perspective, various studies have shown that we as a country, we have potential to reduce about 3,400 to 10,200 gigawatt hours per annum by 2030. Now, this roughly translates to 1,800 to 5,300 kilotons of CO2 equivalent on a yearly basis, and looks at about 20 to 50 billion rupees reduction annually. So that's the kind of impact that we have seen. And some of our work that we did in some of the industry clusters, working with 650 factories, we realized that there is enough savings to power about 5,000 middle income houses. So this is the kind of potential that we have. We've, as a country, set up high ambition at the global stage. There is a huge amount of potential for reductions, not just in terms of energy, but emissions, environmental impacts, and also the cost benefits, both to the consumer, to the utilities, to the state, and across all parties. Now, how do we really achieve these ambitions and drive action on ground? And this is where today's program comes in. And at the Institute for Sustainable Communities, we are a 30-year-old international development organization. We've been working in more than 31 countries now, really helping achieve these ambitions into actions on ground, and work where the rubber meets the road, work where we are able to address some of the on-ground challenges that Mr. Garnayak spoke about earlier in his address, and look at it from how we are able to build in models, build in solutions across technical, financial, policy, behavior, and some of the other knowledge barriers that exist on ground. So all of these challenges are there, but the solutions are also available right with all of us in this room. And there is a roadmap, there is a plan that's been developed. And at this stage, I'd really like to applaud the leadership of ESL here, and also with Tata Power and the Odisha regulators here, because as a state, and the team here, which is assembled, has been amongst the most proactive ones in the country. And like, we've been hearing since the start of this event, we are in the land of Lord Jagannath. We are in a place where there is a first mover's advantage that the state is building up. Many other states are trying to look at it from a draft stage, trying to look at the implementation. But Odisha here is actually launching the program and being amongst the foremost states in the country to really drive this at scale. So if we have to look at it nationwide, we need to start this from the land of Lord Jagannath. And that's why it's a proud and opportune moment for us. And I'd really like to applaud the leadership here of ESL, Tata Power, and the Odisha regulators, but also acknowledge the efforts made by the ISC team, the Power Tech team, and the ESL team to identify the real on-ground potential that exists. And Mr. Garnayak did mention some of these numbers, where we were really looking at the replacements of fans, air conditioners, and motors out there. More than 450,000 fans, 45,000 ACs, about 15,000 motors. But all of this is at a monetary saving to consumers upwards of 78 crores. And to the discoms, again, there is savings of more than 12 crores. And just really looking at a reduction in peak demand for more than 60 megawatts. So that's the kind of impact that we are seeing. And this is a lighthouse moment for all of us in the country. There are many learnings that many other states and regions across the country that could really be incorporated as many other regions set up their own programs and learn from Odisha. So this is like an excellent example of a public-private partnership where after this launch, there is a clear roadmap that's been developed, right from exploring the on-bill financing to looking at how do we make the most upfront procurement convenient and easy for all, and how do we really drive this through the bulk procurement and reductions in cost for purchase, as ESL has been bringing all their expertise here and really kickstart and achieve the entire potential that's out there for grabbing. So I will pause here. I wish everybody good luck here and really again proud that this is shaping up and this is being launched today, and there are so many other learnings that this program is able to offer to rest of the country and help India achieve all its goals, but in turn also support our citizens and our future generations to see a better world, a better environment, a better future that is able to address climate change and also in turn support green development post the pandemic recovery with the kind of innovative models that been described that help not just reduce the upfront cost of purchase, but also look at savings along the way and make this one of the most efficient practices globally. Thank you again.
What is happening globally and what is something which is required from Indian perspective as well. Thank you very much for your kind address. Now I'll request Honorable Shanmugam Sir to address the gathering and speak about the role, what is there for DISCOM in this particular scheme of things. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman OERC, respected Power Secretary Sri Jalsa, senior dignitaries from ESL and the distribution colleagues over there. A very good morning to you. A very good topic to discuss upon at this point of time. As Vivek shared, what happened in COP 26. Probably that's the context setting as well in terms of the need of the hour, in terms of why we listen. So when we look at COP 26, I think 2-3 things came out very clearly. Fossil fuel is the cause of climate change. I think it was accepted very clearly. What came out also is a lot of private sector came out with financing support as well in terms of the climate change part of it, which is very key in this journey. And the most debatable part, which we heard in the end, and also the importance of it in terms of phase out versus phase down, what we saw in COP 26. So it's very important to understand why phase down in terms of the Indian context, in terms of the developing countries context as well. So as we all know, India as today has still an average consumption, the per capita consumption is anywhere around 1200, 1300. Odisha is around 15, 16. So our hunger for consuming more energy is definitely there. No writing down on that part of it. Same is with the developing countries as well. Digitalization is happening and the need for power is all the more important, right? In the rural part of the India, where mobiles are a must. It's a digital world and the transactions are going to be digital in the coming days as well. So power is key for that. So from that perspective, the consumption, especially in the developing countries, especially in India, is not going to go down. So the challenge is, how do you then restrict ourselves in terms of managing this power?
The good part is whether you see India or you see Odisha, in terms of the installed capacity, we have abundance in it. And when you see the flip side of it, the PLF dipping down steadily over the last 5 years specifically, and averaging anywhere around 50% as far as the private companies are concerned, is something which is a huge cause of worry. That means you have enough power in terms of regulation of it. So how do you utilize the existing installed capacity in a way that we don't have to add capacity? So that is where the DSM plays a very, very critical role. And in fact, I would say it has got a major role to play in if you want to see COP26 versus the objectives of it. So I would touch in terms of our distribution companies 3 to 4 areas. One is, of course, a no-brainer part of it in terms of the energy efficiency, in terms of optimizing the use of energy. And the third part is how do you manage the peak power part of it and the importance of managing that. Energy efficiency, we started our journey last year. We signed an MOU with ESL last year itself. And we introduced all these programs, right from the air conditioners to the fans to the motors. But I must say that we were unsuccessful. So some learnings there. At the same time, what needs to be done in terms of propagating that is very key for the success of the energy efficiency program. 2 parts to it. One is in terms of the awareness, which is very key to see that any energy efficiency program runs successfully. Another is in terms of the cost benefit, which actually the consumer perceives rather than we perceive it. That is also very key. While in metro cities like Delhi and Mumbai, it was easy to ensure that people grab it. And every program we have introduced in Mumbai and Delhi has been a success. But seeing the way the program did not take off here, it requires more awareness. At the same time, some sort of more subsidy to ensure that the initial first year has to be given to the consumer. We did that in Mumbai as well in the first 1 or 2 years to see that the product becomes still cheaper so that the product can be sold and there is longing for more of these energy efficient equipments. Because eventually, when a consumer starts using energy efficient equipment, he will never come out of it. It's an addiction because it actually saves 30 to 40% energy or much more than that when you actually regulate it and use it. The other part is when you split the industry in 2 halves, the learned industry, where you have big companies. If you take the last decade or so, every company has a very structured optimization of energy, consume of energy, using energy efficient programs. What is left in the industry is the MSME section. The MSME section, some of them, the viability of their industry itself depends on the power consumption part of it because it's very high on the consumption in some of the areas, whether it's a plastic industry or others. So there, if enough R&D is done and you're able to bring in products which can actually help them consume lesser energy, it can make their business viable. At the same time, energy efficiency takes a further big step in its journey as well. In Delhi, we started the journey supporting some of the R&D aspect. It's still in progress. We have taken pilot projects there to support some of these industry. And that's a key area where I would say even in Odisha, we should do that. Take up pilot programs, support some of these R&Ds, as well as energy audit, which is essential for these companies. Do that free of cost, and then see how the awareness enhances and how they would be part of this journey as well. But then when you see a long journey, MSME is going to play a key role because that's a section where actually a lot of energy is wasted by using some of the motors which are as old as 20 years and very, very inefficient, which makes their business also a challenge. On the optimization front, it's while we want to consume more power, it's how our behavioral aspect is taken into care in terms of setting the simplest of things of the temperature of the room, of our offices, as well as our houses part of it. More we practice at home, less we practice in some of the offices part of it. So there, more and more awareness, more and more technology also can help in, so that automation of these controlling system can make a big difference. The third part is on the peak power management part of it. While we speak about flattening of the curve, the most difficult part, but the most essential part is. So peak power management is also ensuring reliable power. So if you take the country as such, when we have 400 gigawatts of power, we hardly use less than 200 gigawatts of peak power. So there is a big gap over there in terms of what should be our spinning reserve. So any good country has a spinning reserve of around 30%. Singapore has around 30%. European countries have around 30%. So how do you set the spinning reserve part of it? At the same time, your PLF which is there, how do you maximize it? So we have the intrusion of renewable energy also affecting in that part of it. At the same time, our assets have to be utilized in a very efficient way. So here comes some of the programs, including the demand response part of it. One of the toughest programs to sensitize consumers, to use it, but the importance of that program is very, very key. So if you take Odisha as such, while we have 5,500 megawatts of demand, we have an installed capacity of close to 8,000 plus. We have NUs anywhere around 1,500, which is still available for usage. So flattening of the curve can make a big difference. So some of the areas which can be looked in that is trying to ensure our peak power cost is slightly on the higher side. That's the push method, wherein consumers do not use power at that point of time, but that is needed. Because when you see our two peaks, the big peak is at 7 o'clock in the evening. The morning peak is early morning part of it, anywhere around 8 to 9 o'clock part of it. So how do you sensitize our consumers and see that they don't use power at that point of time? And the load profiling and the load research study can help us work on that area. The other is the demand response part. How do you take some of these commercial consumers who actually use power during that point of time and see that how they can back down? So we can help right from the commercial malls to five-star hotels to other industries where they can help us regulate this part at that point of time. By doing this, what can really happen? The existing capacities can be utilized much better. We don't have to build more capacities. That is very key. But then in a country of ours, where peak power management is not supported by some of the power supply issues, whether it's a gas power plant, whether it's a pump storage power plant, those are very key to support at that point of time. So let's take the pump storage units, which is far and few in our country. One which is working 9 megawatts in Andhra Pradesh, which has been one of the successful models, but many of them is actually required to flatten the curve there. Odisha, there was a study done, and the 2-3 hydropower plants which were studied, the tariff was in the double digit, anywhere around 10 to 12 rupees per hour. But then if one does a study in terms of investment in the pump storage versus investment in a other power plant, be it thermal or any other power plant, one would actually know the reliability cost part of it. That means I do not have to build a capacity to handle that peak part versus the pump storage, which can be a long-term solution, because pump storage life is anywhere around 35 years, well maintained, anywhere it's around 50 years. So from that perspective, you would have actually saved enormous cost. At the same time, ensure that your flattening of curve happens and the existing power plants become much more efficient, thereby survival of them also becomes very key. So I think these are some key areas which will help some of the DSM program part of it. And as I shared, if the awareness level, the incentivization of some of our consumers happens, the DSM program can be much more successful, and see that all the other 3 utilities can also join this program and take it to the next level, which is key to our success. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanmugam sir. You very rightly pointed out the areas where we need to focus on the pricing perspective, consumer behavior perspective, and definitely awareness perspective. When we signed our last MOU with you, sir, I think we have worked on those aspects, and this workshop is a result of that. And we are happy to share that we have signed MOUs with some other discoms as well within the state of Odisha. Look forward to your more guidance on the subject. Now I'll request Honorable OERC Chairman Bera sir to launch the report which has been prepared by ESL and its associates, specifically on DSM program for Odisha. We not only did the ground level survey, that is the first level data collection. We contacted and we multiple stakeholders as well. We found out the areas where the real focus has to happen, and the report is the outcome of that. I request all of us to give it a big hand on unveiling of this report. So this report on utility-based DSM program, along with market outreach documents, they are actually the guiding factors for us in written commitment basis and the modalities basis, what we are going to follow to actually outreach to the last mile to help achieve the objective of utility-based DSM related things. Now I'll request Nikul sir, who has inspired us all the time. When we signed our first MOU with TPCODL, he personally congratulated me and he said Abhishek is the right path to go ahead. With big round of applause, I'll request Nikul sir to speak his own way of helping us in this particular program.
Respected Chairman OESC, the UN Mera, Mr. Garnaik, Mr. P.A. Tiger, Mr. Chaudhary, Mr. Sangagam, my dear colleagues from the distance, friends from the media, thank you very much. At the outset, I would like to congratulate both EESL, Energy Efficiency Services Limited, as well as the 4 distribution companies to join hands to launch the demand side management program. Actually, as the previous speaker said, Odisha has been a pioneer in reforms in the power sector. We enacted the Odisha Electricity Reforms Act 1995. In fact, ours was the first act which provided for the establishment of a regulatory commission, that is OERC. In fact, the central act came in 2003. In between, some of the states also followed our footsteps, and they had their own regulatory commission act. In fact, we were the state, probably the, not probably, actually the first state, which
privatize the entire distribution system to a very innovative model in the year 1999. You know that our distribution model is very unique. It is basically a joint venture between government and a reputed private company. And now it is between government to Wipro, which holds 49% equity, and remaining 51% equity is held by Tata Power Company Limited. And this launching event is very timely, immediately after the COP26 Glasgow event. But I was going through some reading over the weekend. As per basically the data shared by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, a US-based organization, Odisha's average annual temperature rise has been 1.5 degrees Celsius between 1950 and 2020. So in last 70 years, our annual average temperature has risen from 24 degrees Celsius to about 25.5 degrees Celsius. And some states the rise has been higher. In fact, I was looking at the report from some states where it has risen by as much as 5 degrees Celsius also. Maybe in some parts of Odisha, like Angul, Talche, should have risen higher. Or maybe Bhubaneswar, it would have risen by a higher amount, but maybe in some places it won't have risen so much. This is the average annual temperature rise. So definitely it is a matter of concern. We have to consume power responsibly and lead a future which is sustainable. That's why our commitment to the international community has been really very huge. As all of us are aware, our India's commitment basically is to have 500 gigawatt of installed renewable capacity, including hydro, of course, by 2030. And as Mr. Senbagam told, we have surplus thermal power as of late also. The average PLF of thermal power plants is about 50%. In fact, last year during pandemic, it has come below 50%. Though NTPC power plants operate at very high level of PLF, but that is not the case with the private sector power utilities who do not have RCO PPA. And Odisha is also power surplus, as all of you know. Last year at this point of time, if I say we were selling about 1100 megawatts of surplus power round the clock, but this year it has come down to below 600 megawatts. Means it has come down about 50% or so. But then our demand is also growing, and and we will also have more power in the coming days. Like Bar 1 has now become 1 unit, has become operational. We will get also more power from some of the NTPC plants, particularly one plant in Jharkhand, that is about 400 megawatts. And but then that cannot go on indefinitely. We have to influence the consumer behavior. We have to influence the behavior of the MSME, the large industry, so that we manage the demand side of the power system. And we must complement the OERC. They had the vision 10 years ago to bring about a regulation on the DSM, demand side management regulation. In fact, as I told, OERC is the first regulatory commission in the country. So they have taken many pioneering initiatives. Even Central Electricity Regulatory Commission has also followed some of the regulations made by OERC. So it is good that this regulation was not being put to use for almost a decade, and now the DISCOMs and ESM have come forward to put that regulation into motion, and I wish that they will create a good mechanism to implement the MOU that is being signed between the DISCOMs as well as ESL. Whatever support is
required from the state government, we will definitely be more than happy to extend that kind of support. And I am also sure the regulatory commission will also go extra mile to see that the regulation is actually implemented with all sincerity. And as one of the speakers told, by adopting energy efficient devices like refrigerators, fans, air conditioners, we can save a lot of energy, maybe 20%, maybe 30%. And Odisha also one of the pioneer states which distributed almost 5 lakh, 5 crore LED bulbs to all the Food Security Act beneficiaries. So our commitment to energy conservation is huge, and I can assure both ESL and the DISCOMs that we will continue to provide display similar kind of commitment and support in the coming days also. So thank you very much. Wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikhil sir. Surely your guidance, continued guidance, I'll say, would be critical for success of this particular program. Sir, after signing the MOUs with DISCOM, actually we went ahead to launch our, design our program for at least reaching the customer through online in the very first mode. And today we are unveiling our website for taking up the orders from customers for all the energy efficient equipments, what we are putting up for under DSM program. May I request dignitaries on dais, specifically Behrasa, to inaugurate the website what we are going to launch today. This particular website is an online platform which will help a customer to directly place order to ESL, and we can deliver these products to the customer within the stipulated time, which is already predefined. The payment can also be made online. So there is no physical contact which is required. And this is the first thing which we are doing in this series, sir. So I'll request my team to demonstrate how the order can be placed on behalf of Honorable OERC Chairman himself. Sorry, sir, we are taking liberty. So this is the first lot of 10 LED bulbs of 9 watt, costing around 700 rupees. So it is just a couple of clicks which are required to place an order, and the product can be shipped and delivered to your place. Sir? It's all made in India, sir. Odisha is part of India only, sir. The token of gift from our side to you, sir. Mr. Girdhar Shankar, he is General Manager, Corporate Development Program. Thank you very much, sir. In fact, after the deliberations, what we did, then we went on to sign the MOUs with the DISCOMs, and I take this opportunity to exchange the MOUs what we have signed in front of Honorable OERC Chairman sir and Nikun sir. May I request Arvind Singh sir to please come on dais for exchange of MOUs sir. Please. Yes. He's the CEO for TPSODL. And from ESL side, Mr. Anil Chaudhary will do the exchange. May I request a good round of applause from all of you, please. May I request Shandigam sir to exchange the MOU, please. Yes, it is a renewed one with new vigor. Sir doesn't need introduction, man. Thank you very much, sir. May I request Bhaskar Sarkar, sir, COTP NODL, to come on his stage, please, and exchange the MOU. Thank you, Bhaskar, sir. I think Kale sir is not here, so we won't be able to exchange MOUs with Kale sir right now. Anybody from TPWODL can exchange the MOU. Patra sir? A good round of applause to Patra sir for coming on the stage and exchanging the MOU. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'll request Honorable Behra Sahab to speak on the topic and actually show us the right, whether we are going on the right track or not. And definitely the points raised by Shandigam Sahab were quite valid. We definitely need some support from government as well, sir, to make a big traction in the state, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with great round of applause, may I request Behra sir.
Principal Secretary Energy, Mr. Nikun Dhar, Mr. Chaudhary from ESL, Mr. Garnaik, Executive Director of ESL, Mr. Vivek Arya, Country Director of Institute of Sustainable Communities, Mr. Senmagam, CEO of TPCODL, Mr. Bhaskar Guru Sarkar, CEO of TPNODL, Mr. Singh, CEO of TPSODL, officials of TPWDL, Mr. Swai from PowerTech, and all the participants here this morning on the occasion of launching of the utility-based demand-side management program. Let me thank the ESL for inviting me to this nice program, a program that will show the way for the future for demand-side management. And I also congratulate both ESL and all the 4 DISCOMs for signing this MOU today for this demand-side management program. I really congratulate all of you and hope that you take this further greater cause of energy efficient systems in the state and on the whole energy demand-side management program. A lot of things have been said about the demand-side management program. OERC was one of the leading states to come out with a regulation on demand-side management as early as in 2011. Mr. Dhal has already said that we are the first regulator in the country which came as early as 1996. Our act came in 1995, clean 8 years before the National Act came. And when Odisha Commission came, 7-8 commissions came in between before the National Act came. They almost followed the Odisha Electricity Reforms Act of 95, was more or less followed by the other states. But after 2003, the National Act came, all of the states now have come up with their own regulators. Regulator plays a very important role in this sector. This is, as you know, this is a kind of a monopoly sector, and the role of regulator is very important in regulating the affairs in a monopoly sector. And all the state regulatory commission, the central commission, have been playing an important role in this matter. Now coming to demand-side management, first of all, earlier we thought that demand is inelastic. Demand comes, demand has to be met. Even today also, all our when we set the tariff, we start from the demand. What is the demand? We start from there. But there is the other important part. The supply was basically, as Mr. Garnack said, supply was being managed to adjust to the demand. But time has come, we have to see, we have to manage both sides, supply side as well as demand side, so that both the ends meet. This is very important. There are many different measures that can be taken in this matter to match it. As you all know, electricity consumption is a major indicator of the economic growth of a country. And there has been seen there is a direct correlation between the electricity consumption and economic growth of the country. But there are a number of studies also done where they have said, where they have looked at the causality effect, whether electricity consumption gives rise to economic growth or economic growth gives rise to electricity consumption, or both or none. Most of this study has been done for many studies have been done. I think the study started as early as in the 80s, 90s, and many studies have been done. It is seen that obviously the common perception is electricity consumption will give rise to economic growth. It does. But in the developed countries, it is now seen that while economic growth gives rise to electricity consumption, the other way causality is not correct. It is not to say that electricity consumption doesn't give rise to economic growth, but the developed countries have gone for conservation measures in a big way. So the consumption has gone down, but nonetheless the development has taken place. Most developed countries today, this is the thing. This is the one way, rather it is one way causality from the development to electricity consumption. Fortunately, India, which was earlier having a two-way causality, today it is coming down to we are joining the league of the developed nations now,
causalities on from the development to electricity consumption, and our electricity energy consumption has been effective. The other way, there is not a strict causality. So I hope I have made the point very clear that conservation can also play an important role while bringing down the electricity consumption. The development doesn't get affected. That's the point that I was trying to make. So and this is what happened is most developed countries, and now happening in India also. So now coming to how do we manage the demand? There can be various methods. We may not need energy at all, first of all. Suppose energy efficient building. You make use of the natural light, make use of the natural heating. So you don't really need energy for cooling your room or heating your room. You don't need energy for, you can make use of natural light, make use of natural ventilation to cool your room also. And this is also energy efficient buildings is a very important concept in the concept of matter of demand side. You don't need energy at all for that. Let alone reducing the energy requirement, you don't need energy there. So this is, in fact, a lot of work has been done, and energy efficient building codes are there. And most states now, most development authorities, urban development authorities have already come out with those building regulations for that. Now coming to the demand supply gap. In Odisha's context, I would say, today our simultaneous maximum demand, which is a very critical factor in energy planning, today is around 5,000 megawatt. Simultaneous maximum demand is around 5,000, 4,800, 5,000 megawatt. Our average demand is as low as 3,000 megawatt. But we have to cater to the maximum demand, this 5,000 megawatt. We have to sign PPA for a much higher quantity. Today, for conventional energy, for conventional energy, I'm saying, this which is more or less a farm energy, we have PPA for 6,300 megawatt of the plants which are already commissioned, and another 1,250 megawatt plants are in the pipeline. Look at that. Our average demand is 3,000 megawatt, but we have signed PPA to something more than 7,000 megawatt. Yes, conventional is 6,300. Our renewable energy PPA is around 1,300 megawatt, and another 1,250 is in the pipeline. So if you add all of them, it is more than 8,000 megawatt for meeting the maximum demand of 8,000 megawatt, because we cannot run short of power at any point of time. That has been the thing. But look at the average demand; it is only 3,000. So what can we do? We can do our demand management. Like we encourage people not to draw power at the peak time, and draw power at other times. So on that, demand side management will play a very critical role. OERC, through its own efforts, we have been giving some kind of a what we call time of day tariff. Time of day tariff, certain hours where when the demand is low, we bring down the tariff. Though we have not increased the tariff at the peak hours so far, it may have to be done at some point of time. But today, from night 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, we have been giving a 10 paisa rebate on the tariff. But this year it has gone up to 20 paisa. In this year's tariff, we have increased that rebate to 20 paisa. If you are using it from 12 midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning. Some way of encouraging utilization of the industries during that hour when the demand is low. But this needs to be more fine-tuned. This needs to be more fine-tuned so that you could charge a little higher at the peak. This thing. Of course, in the domestic sector, there is not much of flexibility in the sense you cannot ask a housewife to run her washing machine in the night between 12 to 6 or something like that. She has to run it during the day or sometime. But things like that will come. But certainly in the industrial sector and many in the domestic sector also, many things can be done so far as the demand side management to take care of the day intraday fluctuation of the demand. And today with the renewable power during the day is getting surplus. So while purchasing power, when Gridco is purchasing power from the renewable, That time there is surplus, and during the day there is surplus. So one way of evening it out is storage. With the increase in renewable, storage requirement will go up, is going up now, storage requirement will, and this is another area which will play a major role in demand side. Actually, it will be supply side management, but it can meet the demand. It can actually even out the supply. Like you can store energy during the day when the sun is shining, and you can use it in the night. And two conventional ways of doing that was, one is pump storage, which many places in the world have used pump storage. Today, about 75% of the storage is done through pump storage in today. And many states in the country also have pump storage. Odisha also has a very vast potential for pump storage. Government of Odisha has been trying it for some time. Looks like the capital cost of those things is a little high. Three particular hydro plants, Balimada, Upper Kolaba and Upper Indra, they ideally suited for pump storage, but government has been looking at the cost of this. It looks like this capital cost of these three projects are a little high, for which the decision has not yet been taken regarding the pump storage. Fortunately, the other method of storage is battery storage. With lithium-ion batteries coming in, the battery prices are coming in, and I'm sure it will come down further. So battery storage is now becoming very competitive, and that is another way of for storage, which will also be a very effective method of storage. And in fact, sooner than later, there will be regulation on storage pricing. Today, storage pricing, there is no, it's not, it is basically either the generator is doing or the transmission companies are doing. They are doing the storage, but time will come. Storage will be another independent licensing kind of. Storage will be different, another set. Like today we have generation, it's not license, it's not for generation. Transmission licenses are there, distribution licenses. So storage can be a licensed item, and people, more and more people can come from storage once it is recognized and it is remunerative. People can come for, there can be investment in the storage sector, and I hope that it comes soon in our country. So I have more or less whatever I have jotted down, I have more or less come to that. But now coming to particularly today's program, ESL's DSM program. ESL has been the pioneer in energy efficient systems in the country. Already, as Mr. Karnaik said, so much has been done regarding power efficient lightings and the heating and cooling roads. Power efficient systems have come, and I'm sure more will come in that area. And with this MOU today between the ESL and the power distribution companies, this can be taken further. One point Mr. Karnaik said that there could be some method of recovery of cost of this through some regulated mechanism, like either somebody goes for energy efficient systems, initial cost has to be incurred by the consumer. So this can possibly, there can be a tripartite agreement between ESL, DISCOM and the consumer, so that initial ESL supplies the system, consumer utilizes it, but it can be realized in installments through some kind of a tariff structure is possible. And I find that is absolutely logical, and the ESL works out something that can possibly looked at by the regulators, and it can settle, like today, meter cost. Meter cost is being realized from meter rent. So similarly, this can be another area where the capital investment is a little high for the consumer. This can possibly be recovered through this. Of course, different innovative financing mechanisms otherwise are available, and where finances can be given by financing agencies, and it can be recovered by them. But then it can also be brought into the regulatory system, so that things are more formalized. It can be done certainly. And I would suggest that he should work out this proposal and it can be looked at regulators, not only in our state, many states can possibly go for this. Another area where this demand side management, you are talking about the motors, energy efficient motors, pumps also. Pumps also can be done. We have a, of course, in Odisha, we don't have much of agriculture load, agriculture pumping load. Many other states, the agriculture pumping load is very high, but in Odisha also, particularly in Western Odisha, the pumping load is pretty high. And some parts of coastal area also, some places, pumping load is there. So we can thought of some energy efficient systems there. Number one. Number two, some, again, time of day tariff concept for those pumping systems so that things can be, they can possibly use their pump sets during the off-peak hours so that they can make their contribution towards evening out the demand curve. So with this, I hope, I wish this utilities-based demand side management program to be successful in Odisha, so that we do. I don't know. They can say that. Okay. So I wish all of you a great success in this program, so that we make our contribution to the energy conservation, carbon reduction in carbon emission, reduction in global warming, or these are all needed. Like Mr. Dhal was saying, Odisha's temperature has gone up by 1.5 degrees in the last 60 years. This is if you go by that rate, in another 50 years, things will be unbearable to live here. If not, we may not survive that time, but our successor generations will definitely, that will be a very difficult place to live there. So unless things are done, unless something is done in reduction, and good that India has been a leader in committing reduction in carbon emission, and our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, has made a very ambitious announcement this time regarding reduction in carbon emission. 500 gigawatt of renewables by 2030 is a very ambitious target, but I'm sure we will be able to meet it, and that will go a long way in renewable. But more we go for renewable, demand side management becomes all that more difficult also. As I said, renewables have some, they have their characteristics. Like solar, you can get only during the day. Wind you will get only when wind is there. But then matching the demand, supply with the demand will be very critical. So all these efforts are needed for that. With this, once again, I wish this program all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for very clearly giving us a path which is going to help us in actually propagating it to the last mile. The on-wheel financing mechanism, what we were actually also contemplating, sir. Thank you for guiding us on that. We see that as a good model which can be taken up, sir, for this program for DSM in Odisha. Apart from that, sir, as you suggested about pumps, we have done agricultural DSM pumps in a couple of states in India. We look forward to work on that as well in Odisha. I think we have received some communication from TP NODL in that regard, sir. We are trying to work out some solution in that area. Probably we'll be able to get similar solution for the DISCOM areas as well, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I'll request, Mr. Anil Chaudhary to take up the stage and do a panel discussion involving the DISCOMs here. Apart from that, Mr. Patnaik, whether he has come, I'm not sure. Sure, sir. I have recorded your request, sir. I'll surely give you some time on that, sir. Yes, sir. So now I'll request the Honorable Chairman Sir, Nikul Sir, to kindly sit in the front row, sir, so that we can have a brief panel discussion with esteemed panelists. For this panel discussion, I'll first invite Mr. Santosh Kumar Das, sir. Please come on, Das, sir. Yes, sir. And I'll request the team from Mayfair to put up a couple of more chairs so that we can have more panelists. A big round of applause for Mr. Das. Shan Begum Sahib is already on the dais, so I'll request him also to take a seat, please. Shri Arvind Singh Sahib. Bhaskar Sarkar sir, please come on the dais, please. And Mr. Biggu Span. To set the context, there is a brief presentation from Mr. Girja Shankar, General Manager Corporate Development Program of ESL. He'll be speaking on this particular program, and then there will be deliberation. I'll request Sahu Sahib to also post his own questions so that the queries can also be very well addressed by the esteemed panelists. Please come and answer.
Good afternoon to everybody. Friends, actually, I'm Dr. Sarat Sahu. I'm the chairman of Odisha Industries Federation, and also I was a member of State Planning Board for 3 consecutive terms. I'm dealing with all these MSMEs mostly for last so many years. What our honorable chairman, my dear friend, Mr. Behera told, actually, we started the reformation long time back when the country had not thought of it. But the essence of this reformation was that there should be inter-company competition in one area, just like what we are facing in mobile companies. If BSNL is reducing its price, then tomorrow that Jio is doing competition, so the customer gets benefit. But now things have been given to one company or something like that, so that is to be corrected. Now, today what they have told, actually we were already experimented in Jagatpur. I am thankful to CEO. On my request, he immediately had sent his team, and we had a meeting with all the MSME units in Jagatpur, and we have made an arrangement that the consultants will take only 5,000 rupees per unit to make a full audit and give suggestions. That is a very good thing. So I want to congratulate our CEO, and we have found actually many small units can save about 40 to 50,000 rupees per month, because they could not understand what was the problem with their equipments. They are incurring all these additional expenses. So I request that MSMEs awareness should be created in all the 6 segments of the state so that the benefit goes. Then, sir, here you are our Mr. Dharsa, our old friend. He was our director of industries, and he has talked about the global warming. Now, if you see, sir, actually, Odisha is not in that bad position. Today in Delhi, people are not able to even respire because of this congestion and all that. Odisha is still in a better place, but we must try to be the best one. So that's why our economic model for Odisha is not actually development oriented. Our GDP of Odisha is not from manufacturing. It is mostly from trading
of iron ores, bauxite, and all that. So instead of being a growth-oriented economy model, it's a trading type of model which is now running the state. That's why we should do produce something ourselves. Here I will take, sir, if you have got so many power saving equipments, I request, I urge our honorable secretary, principal secretary Nico and our chief guest, the government should now insist that such type of small motors and all that, which the technology has available in Coimbatore, lot of young entrepreneurs are here, they have proven track record. Let all these be produced in Odisha, so that with all kinds of ISO and all that efficiency, I think for motors, these fans, all that, ACs, we can produce, so that this becomes a producing hub, and our entrepreneurs, especially in small scale, they can do better, and our money will not go outside. It will not be only a purchasing state. Right? So my request is that steps should be taken to see that these things are produced in Odisha, and this thing is very small technology. If I am given only 50 lakh rupees, I can put up a unit and I can produce it within six months. So on behalf of all my entrepreneur friends, I urge that this kind of steps should be taken by the discourse and by government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samsa. To start the proceeding, I think first I'll request my people to felicitate the honorable dignitaries which are there on the dais. To start with, I'll call Mr. Anil Sahu to welcome Mr. Priyavrat Patnaik. Yeah, I think he is not there. I'm sorry. So for welcoming Das Saab, Mr. Rashmi Ranjan Satapathy, you please come on the stage and give a token of bouquet. Thank you, sir. May I ask Mr. Amit Singh Parihar to welcome Mr. Arvind Singh, COTPS OTL. May I ask Mr. Nand Kishore Jha to come on stage and welcome Master Sarkar, sir. Now I'll ask Mr. Sanket to come on stage to welcome Mr. Girja Shankar. Now I'll request Mr. Brahmanand to welcome Mr. Bihu Stein. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now the stage is set for a healthy panel discussion. I'll request more queries also from all of us, which can help us clarify about the prospects, what can be there, and the roadmap which can be charted out in near future. That will help us definitely as an input to correct our path, which we are going to take forward. Over to you, Anil Chaudhary sir.
Thank you. How much time you are given? 5 minutes to start with, Vidyanji, head CDP, Corporate Development Program, ESL, will tell you about what ESL initiatives are and what we are thinking of this demand side management. So what will you do?
Thank you, sir. So in continuation of the discussion in the previous session, we have seen that the DSM is the most important.
So in continuation of the discussions we had regarding this, the DSM is one of the cost effective, I think, the instrument to have the utility based or the distribution licensing based cooperative actions. So it is the we can assume as a set of actions through which the supply cost can be optimized, and in collaboration with the consumers, we can able to reduce down the management of the peak demand and other characteristic of the load profile of any particular DISCOM. So it can be altering it may be the various type of altering can be done through the DSM measures. So today's discussion, I am just giving the brief about what we are catering here, and I will try to I think enlarge this only the initial stage of this DSM program with today's event. We are targeting only the 4 appliances, but in the future we can club more, and we have the program as the Sanugam sir have mentioned that the MSME program. So for the MSME, we have around 35 technologies which can also be clubbed here under the DSM program, and that the few of the technologies can be useful for the consumers of the DISCOM. So I'm not giving much detail about the. I think the benefits are, we all are aware, there are a large number of benefits occurring through the DSM program, whether it will be the DISCOM, whether it will be the state or the national level, and the environmental impacts, and also the overall is the saving of the consumers. So these are, I think, benefits for the customer perspective, DISCOM perspective, and the national perspective. We are aware that this Panchamrit declared by our Prime Minister at Glasgow, so it certainly have the key elements and the interlinkage where this DSM program will support the government's initiative to achieve the climate mitigation impact. So these are the 3 technologies which we are targeting based on the study carried by the ISC, and the PowerTech is the consultant who has done this study. So these are the numbers for the BLDC fan, it is 4,50,000, for the AC 45,000, and for motors 14,370. And if we club all these 4 technologies, then there may be annual saving targets of around 153 million units. It is a very huge saving which will accrue, which will support not only the consumers but also the DISCOMs. The total monetary savings is around 78 crores, and the total investment is more than 470 crores. So it will support the DISCOM and the consumer in a, I think, more rigorous way. For large scale, and I think the faster and the robust mechanism, the first stage we are launching this program through the online demand aggregation model. So we have developed this dedicated portal, ESL Mart, and any consumer, just with clicking of 5 or 4 steps, he can be able to book the requirement and can conclude the transaction. So
For the ESA and this super efficient air conditioner, the LED lights, tube lights, and the BLDC fan, ESL Mart will take care all activities there. For the motors, we have also a dedicated portal, ESL Motor India ORG. So that will in the motors we have the wide range up to the 100 HP motor, three-phase induction motors with the i3 specifications we have. So they need, I think, more inputs there. So we have the separate dedicated portal, and any consumers, industry consumer can just raise the queries. Our team will provide the proposal, and we will fast track the delivery and distribution. So in the entire this program, our main focus is the timely delivery, the invoicing part, whether it may be to the directly through the portal or along with the goods. And we will also ensure the complaint handling system. So we have dedicated portal where the consumer can raise the queries, and we will try to resolve those issues. We will also interacting and I think coordinating with the DISCOM. So we will provide the links of this our dedicated portal to the DISCOM portal. So the queries can also be raised from the DISCOM portal, and the link will bring to our ESL Mart portal. So this is the I think the steps and the modality about this program. So these are the after sales service. We have the different type of the warranty parts. These are the how these products to be delivered to the consumer end. So we have already have the arrangement with the post office. So for the tube light and the BLDC fan, these material will be delivered through the post office. For the super efficient air conditioner and the i3 motors, it will directly deliver from the vendors. So we have the back-to-back arrangement with the vendors, and they will able to provide the. For the super efficient air conditioner, currently we are in the process of finalizing the bidding process. Once that bid will complete, then we will provide the rates, discover rates, and we will make this operational for the super efficient air conditioner. Apart from the air conditioner, all the three we have the vendors in place. We have the supply chain management and our logistic agency, which will ensure the delivery. So every product have the different type of warranty parts. For the motors, we have the 3 years warranty, and currently our prices, which we have, I think we done this procurement of motor in the last November. So the prices are very competitive. I think more than 20% lesser than the market price, and we are able to manage the good quality. All brand manufacturers are participated in the tenders. So the motors are the Siemens, ABB, Crompton Greaves, Bharat Bijlee. These are the 4 prominent manufacturers of the motors. In the AC, once this bidding process will complete, then we will announce the new prices and the brand and the models and their efficiency parameters. So for the consumer handling system, we also have the 3 modes through the email, through the call, or the CSS portal. Any consumers can raise the complaint, and our team, backend team, will provide the solution. Apart from the ESL complaint handling system, we also have the vendors complaint handling system. So any query raised at the vendor, they can also address and be able to provide the faster resolution of the complaint handling. So here the state head, Mr. Anil Sahu, and his team will take care about all coordination, all any queries or related information. As in the previous session, we have mentioned that we will also have the outreach program with the support of the DISCOM. So with this, I am just stopping myself here, and I hand over the, I think, to Anil sir. He will take care about how this will make our program may be more robust. So I think all panelists can provide their inputs, and we will take note their inputs, and we will provide the good support through this program. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Giri. Now the stage is set, and what I would like to say at the outset that this is the most powerful stage because OERC chairman is there and the CEOs of the discoms are there. So what we are going to talk next half an hour or so is going to decide because decide what how this TSM will be implemented, how fast it will penetrate, and how we will grow in this journey. So it is, and as Viraji has already told that the various kinds of appliances are there, and various kinds of appliances can be added also. Because it's a thing that energy efficiency is there in all various other various potential appliances are there. The answer also told that refrigeration is there, and there is induction cooktop.
As I think the honorable person has mentioned.
Hmm.
So the induction cookstop along with the battery will provide a very reliable cooking option, right, which will support our, I think, non-fossil based heating for the kitchen. It will also support the environment friendly kitchen because then there is no more of the exhaust or the gases will be there. So there are n number of options can happen.
So then we will embark. We have already embarked on this journey. So various kinds of options will keep on coming. So now the challenge is how to implement it, how to incentivize, how the consumers will be interested. And one thing is very much clear that consumer will be saving in their energy bills. That it's straight away in anybody's mind. And industry is going to cut their electricity bill, energy bill, which is major cost of production. So it's the benefits are straight away evident. So instead, but as we have been discussing since morning, that this is one of the source of energy generation, but this needs a mass connect. It needs a mass connect. So that's why media is also there. People will be there. People will be connected to this system. So I would like to now. I think we should discuss one by one that how we as a discom our discom is thinking it will be implemented and how because we need various kinds of support. We need appliances will be there. That is one thing. We will be setting up stores also, but that is also one of the things we will be doing. But if the discount comes into picture and they have got the larger reach and larger network, and they give their network support, then it will penetrate very soon. So in this note, actually, I have told what is our intention and how we so we can discuss one by one.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson Mr. Behera and Mr. Dhal, our respective Principal Secretary, on the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to be part of this very important journey, which is very important for the discoms as well as the consumers as well as the state of Odisha as a whole. I'd just like to place some of my thoughts today. I have heard Mr. Behra, he had taken up this issue of the huge requirement of tie-up of generation, requirements to cater to the load, which is almost 40 to 50%. I would like to take your thoughts further, sir, that the very important, the huge expenditure on transmission and distribution, which is based on mainly the peak load, which also would in the course of time can come down if the peak load is flattened. So we will not only gain in the reduction of the generation tie-ups, but we'll also in future gain a lot on the reduction of the expenditure on the transmission and distribution network cost. So that also would be a very good advantage and saving to the state if we take it in a long-term program. The other point, in addition to what I have heard, that you have identified some components which are to be which are as usual to be sold to the consumers or to be pushed to the consumers. That's one way to look at it. But however, I would also like to add one more item which is very crucial. In fact, few days back we had sent a team to AP, where we have seen that they are very much emphasizing on the issue of five-star rated transformers, because transformers are major significance of loss in the system, where many units have lost. So we can also think about that. Can we have a provision for, even in the distribution companies, we can think of five-star rated transformers, which can be much more lesser on cost, and that will also save on energy, which we can do directly ourselves. So a direction in that can really help us to do it something on our own also. Now, the all these I have an experience of working in my previous assignment on some of the assignments like ESCO or energy as a service, which actually can come into play in a big way to make this this replacement of the pumps and other things happen. Because I have seen that many of the consumers, agricultural consumers, industrial consumers, they are very reluctant to spend money upfront on these pumps or on these motors. Where we were working on a design, in fact, Tata Power has a new business wing where this is taken up in a big way. That can we tie up with NBFCs or banks, where a formal arrangement of financing can be built in. The financing can be also passed on through a tariff arrangement or through a mutual, a sharing arrangement with the person, so that they don't have to, shell out a lot of money upfront. Even there are models where the entire recovery is based on savings, and if we can commit savings as a discom, that we will bring you savings of this much percentage. Once you get the savings, you pay us from that. That will be a very good model to actually promote or get the people to onboard on this program. Because if we just say that you have to buy, I think lamps, it is already a proven factor. Many people already are, most of the LED lamps, resources are already there. People have already developed that sort of attitude that whenever it is lamp purchase, you have to go for a LED. So I don't think that's something new. But when you are pushing for higher items like ACs or like pumps and motors, which are mainly industrial and pumps and agricultural usages, I think we have to think of energy as a service or some ESCO model, where you can have some financing built in. The financing can be based on the savings model. Once we get the savings, we can pay them back. That will be very lucrative for the people to come on board very quickly. So I think we can think about that. The other thing is also, I had some work on the on a blockchain based demand side management, the demand response management, because the demand response schemes also provide an added a benefit in terms of some incentives which immediately the persons can get. So if there is a IT product which may be on a blockchain base or any other IT platform, where the consumers can immediately see how much of benefit he is doing and how much of return he is getting upfront, so that on the usage, and how his demand curve is flattening. And if we can attach, or if I would request honorable chairperson to also think about it, that if we can have a incentive based on this demand flattening, we already have a TOD tariff, that is fine, but added on, if there is a scheme which we can launch as a discoms on the demand response, if you have demand response of this much, you get an incentive upfront immediately. So if that can be transferred, I think it can really be a very good pull factor, or very good driving force to this very noble exercise. So I think we have to now think about building in this sort of platforms and this sort of support mechanisms around this project, which will then drive it forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Sajid. So, some of the things which discounts are interested has been alleged by Sajid. But I think
in Odisha, number one is upfront investment by the consumers. The upfront investment for upgradation of this old machines and that back to finance, right? And some kind of income tax rebate also should be given of the investment. It's the investment made for upgradation of this technology and of the machines and all that. That also you should recommend from this to the government. If I am upgrading my coal factory and investing another 50 lakh rupees, some kind of income tax rebate should be given on this particular investment. I think our
the thought for
Already there are depreciation benefits. The schemes are there and they are providing the support. And for the ESCO, I think most of the projects or the programs we are doing. So here the return is coming just through the saving. We have the standard package offer comprising of 35 technology, particularly for the MSME sector. So if the discounts are align us or provide some opportunity, we can, I think, bring the same product, a standard package offer under this DSM program. Related to sir, your this VR, I think it is a very innovative idea. We had done one study for the this Ladakh. So certainly there are the instruments are available, and now the IT or IoT-based systems are coming. And now new the super efficient air condition, we also featured IoT as a one of the part of this specification, and that can be utilized for the demand response. So my request, if among the 4 response, if you can provide some area, depending upon the, I think your critical inputs, we can see and we can demonstrate this VR response program for a certain group of consumers. So my request, if you can provide certain area, certain type of consumers, and what type of intervention we want to, we can make it a viable project and we can demonstrate.
there are 2 things which are that what you asked, how incentive to consumers, basically industry or Delhi. So industries are already incentivized with their savings. So this is the first thing to be propagated. And what ESL model has been that a non-subsidy based successful model ESL has all the time brought in. And this the demand response, and one point was they were told that 5-star transformer. So the models have to be brought in. Vibhuji can take consultants and various kinds of thought leaders and those who can bring out the models. How this transformers efficiency will be, how the cost benefit analysis should come and what should the payback. So that will become the model now, because for the ESCO company to take up, so they need this thing first. So that is the the forum is now open. That you can come out with some kind of model. See how and what will be the overall ballpark numbers. What is the saving and what can be the return on investment when these kinds of transformers are achieved. So if this kinds of scenarios are available, this then become very lucrative things to move ahead. So that kind of thing. You must have, because all the programs which we have initiated has started from the technological study and then the stakeholder responses and then what is the cost. So these are the 3 things which drive the program.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman, and good afternoon, all the dignitaries. So you briefly mentioned about energy efficient buildings. Probably the commission can mandate that all the utility buildings coming up now can be at least gold certified. In Tata Power,
when I was part of our transmission projects, we have already started building a gold certified IGBC building. In fact, the last one has been certified Navi Mumbai International Airport switching station is certified platinum. So that is something the incremental cost is very less compared to the switching station building, especially with GIs. So that is one aspect we can look at since we are talking about energy efficiency. Coming back to the topic of demand side management, I think all of us have understood the importance and the need of that. The proof will be in the implementation. And considering the profile, if I can talk about TPS, while going online and purchasing is a good idea. Today, everybody does that in urban and semi-urban. But considering the profile of Southern Odisha, probably a call center not only for complaints, but a call center to get the consumer to understand what is the benefit and to get him to into the fold of DSL. Now, unless he understands what is in it for him, he's not going to take the next step. And that is where the crux lies if you want to have a mass rollout of the program. We can also think of a missed call service where we can call the consumer back and explain to him what is the importance. As I mentioned, online is a good idea, but then it remains restricted to places like Berhampur or urban towns. And we are really looking at a mass rollout. So that is something which I suggest that we should look at and roll out that also. The scope is immense that we have all understood. And I think it is already a very popular model in Mumbai. Financing model, of course, there are two financing models. We can look at both of them. And how to address it again in the rural areas is something that will be a challenge. And we must do it very quickly since the need has been understood. I think apart from that, whatever help that DISCOMs can give, probably on behalf of the entire team, I can commit that since we have our own social media presence and we have our own, all of us are building call centers, 50 call centers, they can also be utilized, not only limited to complaints, but probably rolling out, and it will become part of our job to encourage DSL. And that is where the success will come from. That's all I have.
Thank you. The need is very much clear that DISCOM needs it, that and the consumer also. Because the energy, so energy saving is there. So what about that one thing that you can print on the bills also that these kinds of solutions are available. So the various kinds of other things are which are coming in the mind. So I think
Chairman OERC. In the morning also, discuss many aspects of demand management and all the guests and dignitaries present here. I am really fortunate to be part of this program and launching of this ESL program or ESL program. First of all, I congratulate ESL as well as the four DISCOMs. They have signed MOU for implementing the ESL program. First of all, sir, one line I have to say that I explain what my points are. There is a famous saying, more we develop, more we decorate the environment. That doesn't mean that we will not develop. That's not possible. Today is very crucial moment for our country. You may be knowing the news that the Delhi government has taken a step of climate pollution in Delhi. It has gone to the hazardous level. Hazardous level means beyond 300-degree air quality index. Up to 150 is very normal, then 50 to 100 is more best. Then beyond 100 it is unhealthy for the sensitive people like that. When in Odisha it's more than 100. To say these things, my point is that how much we are concerned about this and how much concerned about to reduce this pollution and our reduce consumption. And in the morning, all of our esteemed people have already explained the impact of the pollution and the consumption of energy. To very brief, I will say
in 2016 or 17, I think 16, this ESL came with the plan launching this selling our distribution of the LED 9-watt bulb. And being the state designated agency in the state, we facilitated that. And at that time, actually, a proposal was with the OERC that the cost of the LED bulb distributed to the consumer will be recovered from the energy bill. And maybe due to some difficulties, the approval was delayed. And the then MD of ESL came and discussed with our principal secretary. I was also present there, and decided that it should be distributed to the consumer upfront. At that time, the market price was slightly more than 200 rupees, but the ESL fixed the 80 rupees because of the already ESL people have said because of the last scale procurement, the price was there. Now, this was that whether consumers are able to purchase that at 80 rupees or not. And it was decided that it will happen, it will happen. And it was launched in the auditorium, it was really a massive success. In media, people they have covered almost in all the newspapers, and consecutively 3-4 times also we brought down the announcements, advertisement in the newspaper. And now today, already there are more than 5 crores LED bulbs being sold. And as a result, perhaps as per the Ujala dashboard, more than 13 megawatt capacity avoidance into that. So if you see those things, now ESL has got with 4 items, 4 appliances. In fact, there are 10 appliances are mandatory list of standard, or near about 18 appliances are in the voluntary list of the standard. Out of these 4, I could just throw some light. If these, what is the problem with LED bulb distribution and AC and the BLDC fan or the motor? What will be the difference? If you see the consumer base of our distribution system, in Odisha, more consumers are domestic, then it's commercial, then maybe industrial, then agriculture. Looking into this, if you see the against the domestic category of consumers, more rural than the urban. This is why we have to focus to what type of consumers are there with us. My point is that if you just design a program with one size fits all, it will not work. We have learned something from selling the LED bulbs, and if we apply here, it will be sold again upfront. What will be different? LED bulb was only 80. I think consumers of our state, they were able to purchase paying 80 rupees without any much difficulty. Though initially there are some difficulties, but later on it picked up by induction method. If somebody is using LED bulb, it is very beautiful to see the light, so that all were means by induction method they purchase. So it picked up, there was no issue. And later on one issue was there, this service, replacement service. Initially for 2 years it was okay, but at the end of the year we faced there was no replacement service as per the warranty. That is why many customers they have also come to our office because the address was given EIC electricity office for registration of the GST and other tax purposes. So that's why they came. Therefore, the EIC office is dealing this thing, and they need replacement, but we have infrastructure down. So this is one of the learning here also we have implement. And a good thing ESL has done this time, they have developed this online purchase system. But it will have, because in the last phase we have learned, those industry, those who are working with us, because we are also looking after the electricity duty for the factory power plants, most of the bigger industries, they gave us equation for purpose of fans and the tube lights, given the tube lights. So against that also we requested ESL to supply. So this problem will be solved in this product. So this project definitely will help us. And I request the one more point is our distribution company told they have a lot of customer center. Your portal can be integrated to their customer care or some sort of their portal, so that the customer, if they want something they have to purchase from the seller, they can go to your portal. So this is one of my suggestions. And as our MSME sector, somebody told me they need some help. Actually, if you see the industrial policy resolution 2015, we have also provided one-time subsidy, one-time actually payment for taking up the energy audit of MS. So this one-time audit if they conduct, if it's there, the government will pay the cost of the audit. Third thing we will suggest, we can also associate with the government organizations. Like suppose replacement of motors. Who are the users? Farmers. Who are the dealing from the government side? Odisha Lift Irrigation Company. They are also a part of our total system. If you see the users of the motors, so they can be also taken up because in the last 2-3 years, we have also funded from the government of Odisha funds to replace near about 3,600 pumps up to a capacity of 15 HP, and it was successfully replaced. I think still there are a lot of need for replacement. You can also realize those and you can also find out further. Then in this, I think last one I will say the financing mechanism already we have discussed. My suggestion is that the if we compare the purchase of LED, it is not like purchase of air conditioner or fan. It was slightly high. So for a consumer already using air conditioner, whenever it is energy, then what is his choice? How will say you use the high-star rated air conditioner so that the energy efficiency, energy efficiency can save a lot of money for the operation the total year by year you can achieve the energy conservation, energy saving, and you can save money. He will not be convinced that. Why? Because he needs to invest a lot of money for replacing the old one. There must be one. I idea is that like scrapping policy of the motor vehicle just recently announced by government of India, he should bring also some sort of scrapping of the old units. Generally, the people were personal think, if I change my old air conditioner by a new energy efficient air conditioner, this will be my profit. I will actually have some sort of money in this sort of fund of the opportunity. Similarly, also that. Why I am saying is because air conditioner is not the usual appliance used by any ordinary one. It is mostly an income group of maybe more than middle class, middle income group. And rural consumer, they do not need this. Even fan is also, it is the super efficient fan. I think ESL is coming out of the price near about 2,500 to 3,000 or 3,500. So it is also very not less. Upon payment, there will be problem. Last option, you should make some sort of financing arrangement by your financial institution so that it will be easily accessed by the consumer. Last option should be attached to the recovery through the electricity. Suppose it fails, the first mechanism fails, then the second mechanism should be recovered from the electricity bill. Because you know, collection is an actually problem for the distribution company. There is always a debate. Now already I think the tariff season has started. The regulators, what is the challenge? The debate goes for the rationalization of tariff. One side we say if the electricity is just a business commodity, it should be sold like or purchased like any other item in the market. At the same time, we are also saying the public assets or something. We should be rated for the lower tariff. So this is the trade conflict between these two. It is why the tariff mechanism also should be in such a way people will really get it in the cheap price. We are morning we have told we are discussing for the peak tariff for non-peak tariff there should be difference. So people will think in that way. Those who are really aware of this, they will think in that way. So with this, just I complete my suggestion. Thank you. Thank you.
We can, wish list is very much clear. What is to be done? So discounts have to respond. We are already there. So everybody has got the list. So on you must that on-bill balancing. This has been always a challenge also to implement. And but this is a very lucrative thing. This is the easiest thing which can be done for the on-bill balancing is integrating the portal. Integrating that can be very easily done. So I think all the discounts are agreeing on that. So that is one takeaway we can immediately have from that. And what was here suggesting in a way that for farmers, he was mentioning that is the agriculture demand side.
So that has been very successful in Uttar Pradesh. This can be thought how these kinds of things can be implemented. But other motors, then industry has to understand motors. But this the for farmers, this is the demand. And so before Vibhuji for the other kinds of questions, you might like to say something on these lines.
The Honorable Chairman OERC, Sri Bera sir, please of the bias and while I'm sharing some of my thoughts, the program which you have laid down, it's very compact as far as the digital part of the business. Now, since our customers are 70%, I think the delivery will have to happen at the rural part. Based on our experience on collection part of it, we know how difficult it is to reach out to them and then make this whole thing happen. So 2-3 parts to it. One is how do we understand their part of the need. So if you take, let us take the simplest of the BLDC plan is something which will be sold. Now, how do they see it as cost effective will be a challenge in our communication part. So if you see the, like I happen to buy a BLDC fan for my house, absolutely efficient, looks are good, etc. But then the cost part of it is really high in the initial stage. From an Indian perspective, from a rural perspective, I think it will be a challenge when you see the costing part. So we'll have to see from a consumer angle, can we get some feedback, which we will do to some extent, but a study will help in terms of really understanding the fans going to the rural part. AC will happen. We have put a target of 45,000, but AC will be running into lakhs as well, where the scope is really high. So if you understand the consumer mindset, I think that can help in this journey. So while we take this journey for the next 3 months, this is something which we can do to see how we can modify this part of the costing on the BLDC plan. Financing, yes, installment basis is going to help. Maybe we can structure it in a way that your cost is only this much per month. So that can eliminate the initial barrier which is there from the consumer perspective. And as we spread into our section offices, maybe for the communication, that can be another channel to take forward the rural part of the communication. We have many programs now. We are almost reaching to our Gamchalo program. Each section office is reaching twice a week to different people. So that way we are able to now reach out to our consumers. So that can be a forum we can spread this part of it, which we will do as much as we can, which can really enhance the awareness and take this part of the journey to the next part of it. So affordability is some area which we can look at and split into the aspects which I shared. On the other areas, I think whether it's the 5-star transformer part of it or the energy efficient buildings, if we are allowed to do some pilot programs there, each of the response, it can really make a difference in terms of our experience and how do we see the cost benefit analysis part of it. In Bhubaneswar, we have got 7 GIS building coming up, all through the STRIPS program. So maybe we can talk about the government to see one such building can be converted into gold or even platinum one, which we can take. At least 3 of them are yet to be started. The work is yet to start because of the land problem. So that's an area which we can look. A lot of learnings can be there for the future part of the program. And as we also over the next few years build some of our building, this can really help us in terms of taking this part of the journey forward. And from an industrial perspective, I think some more communication to the MSME sector, the energy audit happening there along with them, understanding their motors is a key pilot program which we can do. I think it can make a big difference. And understanding their energy consumption and trying to help them out is one pilot program which can really make a game changer in this part of the world, which can be replicated across the countries.
Thank you very much. So, only once now the things that Vibhuji may highlight. That actually now you see that there is scope of everyone. That ISKCON is there, consumers are there, and various kinds of other kinds of businesses will crop in when we go for the demand side management. So logistic agencies will come, and manufacturing will increase. Again, the demand will be there for manufacturing also. So this the cascading effect will be there. And so now, Vibhuji, various kinds of studies will be required now. So the era of consultants and technology providers will also come in now. So your take on that. That is somehow let's cover.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Berasa, Chairman OERC, dignitaries on the dais. It is a privilege for me to address you on this launch event. And being a consultant to this designing of the concept, I'm very happy that today the project is launched and it is rolled out. And as Talsara has told, we are the first state to implement electricity reform act, and we are also the first state to implement the demand side regulation by the Honorable OERC. And today we are the first state in the country to implement the demand side management implementation program in the whole country, involving all the 4 discounts. I am quite happy for that. And also I have the sincere trust with ESL products and pricings. I am using it for the last 3 years. I appreciate the concern of TALSA, and also I have a sincere faith on Tata Power managed discounts. Whenever they sign an MOU, they really see the ground implementation. And these MOUs are really the MOUs which are going to be implemented for the benefit of consumers. The consumer will be saving energy. It is a discount who is actually using the money because of energy conservation. Still, I thank all the Tata Power managed discounts that they have come forward and initiated this proposal of ESLs. I am sure it will not only reduce the LT, it will improve the LT realizations. Also, it will have a good give savings. And when we signed the MOU with TPWDL, we have the privilege that Berasa was there to witness the MOU signing ceremony in a virtual mode. And he also appreciated that in case the discount will come forward, as per the regulations, the incentive can be given to discounts. And already the petitions are being ready and to be filed maybe in this coming week with the help of Tata Power, all the 4 discounts will be filing. So my take was I am quite happy, and this, let us be very clear that there is a huge mass adoptions will be possible. The scaling of potential is very huge. Whatever the study report says that which we have done for 470 crore of investment. Now these investment has been consumed for 10%, 5% of ELDC plans. There is 95% is left, similarly 10% for ACs, and roughly 5 to 15% project has been captured while designing 470 crores. That means balance 85% is still gap in there. So this is an investment of 5,000 crore which ESL would like to have. Now with this 5,000 crore of investment, particularly in Odisha, I feel there is a lot of potential for MSMEs. There is a lot of potential for consultants. There is a lot of potential for engineering colleges, and which can be captured. And discounts knows very well that a happy consumer is good for discounts. So they would like to keep the consumer happy. And with this type of demand side management program, the consumer, if you can give handling support, I'm sure ESL, SWE, and discount will give handling support to the consumer by reaching out to the consumer. All the discount points are well taken. Odisha is a different case. 70% rural consumer, we need to reach out them, including online as well as offline medium. ODA call center are very much required, but the ESL, I'll not be surprised if ESL will come up with ODA based call center to promote the DSM program. because they also need a last mile connectivity like Amazon or Swiggy or so we need to go to the rural. And as consultant, I think the engineering college, CT professors are here. They have done wonderful studies for government engineering college, 3 government engineering college audit they have done. Now you have a very huge potential. All our diploma college, engineering colleges, the audit can be done and this project can be launched. We have a lot of government building in like OSIC are there, OLIC are there, where the potential is huge. So in these studies, the consultant can be involved, our engineering colleges can be involved. We have very good support system. As Dr. Saras Saab have told, we need some ODA component. Yes, that will be definitely there. That ODA entrepreneurship will develop, and we see a lot of potential for direct and indirect employment. Even if you want to change a fan, you need some local technicians. Even if you want to change a motors, you need local technicians. So use these 5,000 crore investment we can bring in this coming 5 to 10 years. We see a lot of good employment potential, good engineering studies by engineering colleges, and the technology which IoT enabled. This can be easily developed by our engineering colleges, by our CTs, by we have IITs, and they can develop very good blockchain based system which are informations. So I am quite hopeful, though we have initially considered the project. Now the way it is coming up, I'm quite sure we have a long way to go. Yes, definitely implementation is a very key. I'm quite sure with the support of Tata Power and TSF and with regulator we have, will be able to address these issues, and government definitely will be there to support us.
Thank you, Himali. So we have got all the points of all the stakeholders. So our teacher Indraji has already noted, because he's the person who will drive the program. He's the general manager corporate driven program. You can have the case study that is from Jabalpur Industrial Estate, because we have a power. And you have also studied operate the transformers and also industries, right? Whatever on the chairman has told, just like meter, we are putting up meter and putting it airwise, how will you cover it? Then whatever observation is done, if you can take it instrument wise, then you can make a study of 500 units there, because your distribution loss is zero. Yeah, whatever you are. So there's scope of various things which we will discuss now, because the lunch is there waiting for everybody. We can discuss during that time also, and that time is very much productive if we are discussing like this and that time also. So, and this has the journey has started now, and the things are well set in the mind of the DISCOM. So what we have to do, consumer reach, DISCOM can help us. Integration of portals, which has already, you can understand that it is done now. This is AGDSM has come. So this is what agriculture design. And the pilot programs which you are telling, private study, those consultants are there. Demand response program, and the scope of various stakeholders will evolve. So government and the public, the software engineers and the engineering colleges consultants, everybody is now very on board. So this is it's a, when we are going to the demand side management, as we have been telling from the beginning, it's a movement, a people movement basically. So, and everybody, nobody is untouched in that, because directly, indirectly, nobody is untouched in that. So now let us conclude in this note, and I would like to thank all the panelists for all their insights, and I am sure everybody has got many things inside, because we always run out of the time when these things discussions start. So this is various kinds of takeaways are already there, and I want to congratulate everyone to be they wanted to congratulate everyone that we have been part of this kind of discussions today. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a lovely discussion we had. In fact, a lot of new positive areas to ponder for ESL, our partners, DISCOM, and definitely the regulatory perspective as well. Thank you so very much for all to all the dignitaries who have taken their time out to share their views and give us a food of thought for a new journey which we are going to charter in Odisha. Thank you very much, sir. Now I'll request Mr. Amit Singh Parihar to give the vote of thanks. I'll request the dais members to please be seated because after this we'll be having a photo session as well. We request all of dignitaries to please be seated. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Abhishek ji. So it's an absolute privilege for me to propose a vote of thanks in such a special event. The reason I say this is a special event because if we have to achieve targets like net zero and all, we not only need innovations around technology, we certainly need innovations around the business models. And DSM-based program is one such business models. And to provide us this motivation, this encouragement, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to Sri Behra ji, Honorable Chairman OERC, Sri Dhal Sahab from Principal Secretary, Government of Odisha, Sri Dhal Sahab for your constructive inputs, Sri Shan Begum ji for your practical insights on how to implement this DSM program, Sri Ganayak sir who joined us virtually for literally conceptualizing the idea, Sri Vivek Adya for guiding us through this study. I would also like to thank all the partnering discoms for joining hands, in particular Sri Arvind Singh ji for offering that commitment of support, Sri Bhaskar Sarkar ji and Sri Anil Patra ji, and all other delegates from Tata team. I would also like to thank the organization called P4G for providing their support to conduct this study. We initiated this study from their support only. And I would like to thank all of you for taking time and joining us for this event. I would also like to thank my colleagues from EESL, ISC, and Power Tech Consultants, basically to provide all sort of support to kind of have this launch event successfully done. And last but not the least, मैं अपना आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा मेरे मीडिया के सहयोगियों के लिए, बिकॉज मेरा मानना है कि अगर इस प्रोग्राम की एक सुंदरता ये है कि we are not only talking about addressing this issue of climate change, but somewhere we are also talking about climate change को तो हम address करेंगे ही, but we are also providing the benefit to the consumer. और अगर ये फायदा हमको कंज्यूमर तक पहुंचाना है तो मीडिया का सहयोग हमारे लिए बहुत जरूरी होगा. मीडिया का ये सहयोग हमेशा हमको मिलता रहेगा, ऐसा मैं विश्वास करता हूं. And with these thoughts, I'll hand it back to Abhishek ji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amit ji. Now I'll request Honorable Behra Sahab to come on back so that we can have a photo session with all senior members available in the house. I'm sorry if I'm missing someone senior, please do come on this stage. It's a great honor for us to be in same photography. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Now I'll request all of us to have lunch with us. So it can be a networking lunch. There is one more small request. If all of us can gather in front so that there can be a group photograph for all attendees, please. May I request the people who are sitting on the back side may also join. Whereas we are taking slight liberty. Excuse us. Can you make it a bit quick, please? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Please do come forward. I'll request the people on the back side. Please do come forward for a photograph. Request my ESL team as well to be in the photograph. Surely we will share a copy of the photographs if you have given the email IDs to us. If not, please do it so that we can share the same. I'll request all of us to proceed for lunch. The photographs would also be available at ESL website. So if somebody wants to download, they can. That is esl.co.in.